Let's go. All right. So what I'm going to do is I am going to review the tournament that I just played in and my performance, be it good or not good. And I will tell you that it was not good. This is the first game. I was black. It was a guy named Ptolemy Linden. He's 12-11 versus me. I'm unrated. And I lost. It was a pretty close game until the end when I started making mistakes. So, let's go through it. Just want to make sure, yeah, everything's good. All right, so we had a pretty standard King's Indian opening, but he went into the Trumpowski. I opened with D6, which is not the best move. Realistically, I should be opening with D5 here. So analysis says C5 or D5 and E6 are options. C6 is a 0.1 for him. So I went here, but I think this makes the most sense. But anyway, I expected to do this and pretty much go into a basic positional game. I've seen the Trumpowski before. I didn't make the best play that I could have made, but I did it anyway. He just took, which like, no, it's not FIDE. This is USCF rating. Sorry. Yeah. So he just took, and I was like, oh, okay. So I took back with the e-pawn, which I think was correct. Yeah. He takes f6. We're pretty much dead even at this point. He goes e3, which was very accurate. Apparently c6 is my most accurate move. I went g6, which is also equally accurate. They're all dead even. He surprised me with that move. I did not expect him to also go h5. This was super surprising to me. So I was like, what the fuck is happening? This is not how I've seen the Trumpowski played in my life. Like, apparently, his idea of the Trumpowski is just that you take the knight. And then you play a game of chess. So at this point, I'm like, okay, you know what? I don't really know what he's doing. I'm just going to continue with my plan and be comfortable. And I went bishop c4. Or, sorry, bishop g7. Now, apparently, the best move is to be like, to basically do to him what white would oftentimes do to a black player, which is really scary, which is just push h5. And I didn't think about that at all, because at the time I was pretty nervous. This was my first tournament game ever, and I was like, I'm just going to play something that I know. So it turns out it was an okay move. Not so bad. We're still even. He also develops to g2. And I just castle. There's probably other stuff I should have done. It still wants me to push. See, it still wants me to push like h5. But I didn't. So that was what it was. My choices here are what? Why are the lines all... yeah, so castle, f5, c6. Okay. Castling, f5, c6 were all really good moves. I castled. Now it's saying h5 again, but that's okay. There was other stuff I could have done. I wanted to bring my knight out. That was one of the things I thought about. I wanted to bring my bishop out. That was one of the things I thought about. I wanted to get my queen out, but that was the last thing on my mind. I was thinking, let's either get our knight here or here and bring our bishop out. But then I was like, you know what? Let's just cancel. I'm not sure what's happening. I don't want to bring my bishop out right now because his bishop is going to just take, right? So it was like the real options were this or this, or castling. So I just castled. So yeah, he made best move, which was c4. It's a good play. And apparently I should have met that with c5. But I met that play not with c5. I was concerned. I saw a lot of ghosts in this game. And this is, I think, pretty standard for someone who's just playing in a tournament for the first time. I was really concerned about this bishop and the damage that it was going to do. And I still wanted to develop my knight to a more typical King's Indian position. I wasn't thinking about this because I was like, this does nothing to prevent this. And I was getting nervous. Instead of just thinking like, well, once I develop or develop like this, that this will still be here. I can go here and then I can do whatever I want with this bishop, right? I can even like go here and take the bishop out. These were not options that really went through my mind, though they should have been. So instead, we went here. The thinking here was, I mean, it's not a terrible move. The thinking here was, now this is safe, right? Stupid thinking, but that was the thinking. I wasn't really that concerned about this because it kind of like makes his pawns weird. And like if he went like this, I was just going to jump here and I'd be safe basically forever from this by it just sitting here. So I was like, okay, that's fine. Like I'm okay with this. Again, just seeing ghosts with like this one B pawn for no reason. Just terrified that I was going to lose this B pawn. And he brought out this knight, which again surprised me because I really did think he was going to bring this knight out first. Felt like a weird move order. But you can see he's already got a 0.2 advantage because they've just made suboptimal moves. It really looks like it wants me to go f5. And luckily, I did go f5, which was good. It's a good move. Might not have been the best move, but it was a good move. I feel like this is getting weird. It's like the depth is like not acting right. Because this said it was the best move for a while. Anyway, it's a good move. I was happy with it. You know, it did a couple of things. It opened up my bishop. It stopped him from going here. It prevented it like this move. And I was thinking I would, you know, be able to go like rook e1 or rook e8 or queen d7. And then he made a pretty good move. The computer again kind of wants him to just go wild, go like apeshit, which is pretty normal against the King's Indian and Fianchetto setups. So it kind of wants both of us to do this, right? But he developed this knight finally. And at this point, I was thinking, okay, I was really obsessed with this knight for some reason in my mind. And I'm thinking like, okay, this knight can go, I'm stopping him from going here. I don't really care if he goes here, but I don't really want him to go here. And for some reason, I got obsessed with the idea that he would go here. Just not a scary place for him to be sitting. But I was really obsessed with it being a problem. So I made this stupid move. Which, yeah, in hindsight was really bad. Not really bad. But it was like pretty clearly just like another symptom of me seeing ghosts, right? I'm like, I don't want the knight here. Of course, I opened up like this, but we'll get to that later. So then he castles, because it's about time for him to castle. And I put my queen here. So again, we have more seeing ghosts. I wanted to move my bishop out. Or I wanted to get my bishop fianchettoed. That was my idea. I want to fianchetto my bishop. But I was like, now my knight's here. So what am I going to do? If I want to fianchetto my bishop, I need to cover my knight. This is so unbelievably illogical. So unbelievably illogical. If that's my plan, I should have just gone b8 and, you know, whatever he does, like this. Right? Like, that's just, like, such a better play. Yeah, like, this literally is the best play at this point. And then, like, who cares what he does, right? Like let's pretend that he does something else. You know, I can go like this, and then, you know, and then we have our bishop fianchettoed, right? But no. What did I do? I was like, I know. I'll bring my queen here. And I'll guard it so that I can lift this up. So then he does this, and I'm like, okay, he's gonna push this pawn. And he's just kind of pawn storming my queen side. And I was getting a little bit nervous, because I was like, I really don't want him to pawn storm my queen side. I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do against it. Now, obviously, like, a bunch of things made sense. I could have pushed here. I could have pushed here. Like, there was, like, a bunch of moves that could have made sense here. Even, like, this is just saying go rook b8, right? Probably because I'd go, like, there, and it would take, and I would, like, be able to take and defend it, right? But no. I did do it. I went rook b8. Sick. I'm excited. I thought I did worse than I did. Cool. Not a bad move. Then he played it, and I was like, all right, let's get the fuck out. So I got my knight out. Of course, now this is not like the best move, because at this point, like, this was a good move last turn. Now the best move is to just meet this. Because, you know, what's the danger? It would play out like this. He can't take because I'm here, right? So who cares? If he ever pushes this, I take this, right? If he moves here to guard it and pushes this, well, whatever. Let's say, no, I'm not gonna do something dumb. Let's say I go here. No, I'm not gonna do something dumb. If I go here, right, and he pushes this, then I can take, and he'll take, and I can take. Like, I don't know. This is a very weird kind of situation where it's like, I don't know what I was afraid of, but I was afraid. So I jumped out of the way. And he was like, ha ha ha, which was a mistake. So this is like his first like inaccuracy. And I did not see it as an inaccuracy. I was scared. Again, recurring theme. I was very scared. This game was full of fear. It turns out that the best move looks like, I think it was supposed to be this was the best move. Because you just block it and you're double guarding it. But I took, right, I think. Oh, no, I did. Sorry. I pushed because I was double guarding it, but the best move was to take. Again, I don't know what my fear was. Like, oh, he has this pawn chain. Well, okay. He's also blocked off by the pawn chain. Now I'm like opening up myself on this side, and I can start making a kingside attack, which is what the King's Indian wants to do, right? Like, they're going to push on the queen side and open up on the queen side, and I want to push on the king side. But I've been I got so fucking obsessed with the queen side and the queen side pawns. So I was like, let's stop it. Let's stop it right here in its tracks. And he was like, nah, we're going to do this, right? Because now he's got 3 attackers, and I've only got 2 defenders. So I'm like, no, let's lock it forever. Which is a good idea, apparently, right? Because I do save the pawn. And I do make the bishop look stupid. So I felt good about that. Because I was like, you know what? That's not the worst thing ever. Unfortunately, this caused its own problem. Because now this is open, which we talked about earlier. And I did not see that until he went there. And I was like, oh boy. And I'm like, how do I stop this? I really want to go here, but I'm so far away from going there. So I just made a couple of maneuvers to try and get there, which it turns out that they were good maneuvers. So I was happy about that. He went there. I went bishop there. He brought his other knight because he really wanted this square. So I could see what he was doing. He saw that I was going to do this, and he wanted to come here so that he could refill the square. Either way, I continued with my expansion because I was like, I don't care that both of his knights and his queen are over here not doing jack shit. What I need to do is still trade knights. Because, again, like I said, obsession with my queen side for no idea why. He just takes. So I take. Then he goes there. And I'm like, welp, I better get out of the way. So yeah, I took a long time getting anywhere. When he went here, I was like, all of my pieces are cramped. This guy's kind of stuck right now. My queen is back here doing God knows what. If I move too far, if I move all my pieces out of the way, he's going to go here and fork my rooks. I'm terrified of him forking my rooks. Even though this is like double guarded right now, so even if I just moved my queen over here, right, like, we were fine. And what it turns out later is I really should have just, I knew I had to go at this point on the king side. I finally got my shit together, and I was like, time to go king side. Unfortunately, I didn't do it well. I didn't do it well at all. The best thing I could have done was to go f4. Because he cannot take with this pawn. Because then I can take here with check. Or not with check. If I go here, if I go here, he can't take with f-pawn. Because I go here, I'm threatening this. And I can start, I have like, this is just too much. This is dangerous, right? This is really scary. So he kind of has to take this way. And I kept thinking like, oh, well, what if I go here and he goes here and I go here and then he just goes like this. Then I just go back like an idiot. But I'm not thinking at that point that like, even that is like an okay position for me, right? So instead of recognizing the importance of f4, you can see that they really want him to play f4 to keep me from playing f4. Yeah, I don't think of that. He obviously doesn't see the king side happening either. And I do something that missed everything. So my options were f4, which was the best option by far, because it gets us, you can see, back to, it keeps us within 0.04, right? Really, really close. Or h5, which is like 0.26, or queen f6, just getting the queen into the game, right? And like simultaneously making room for my rooks because I was feeling cramped. And my instinct at this point was, I feel really cramped. I should uncramp myself. And somehow I didn't realize that this resulting position leaves me so uncramped. I am so happy here. This is fantastic. I can start pushing my pawns. I am threatening serious things. He's lost his thing. He's lost his like control over this. I can come here and start threatening his bishop. Like I have so many threats here. It's wild. Right? I can do this and get rid of the bishop. Like I have infinite threats. But I'm like, I'm really cramped. So let's make this little baby move and cramp myself even further. Because I was like, I'm just going to go h6, g5, then f4. And he didn't buy it. So he went a4. And I took a long time and I thought about this. And I was like, okay, is this scary? Do I have to stop and reattend to my queen side? Because again, remember, obsession with my queen side. Obsession with my queen side. And I was like, no. Because you know what? Like, no matter what happens here, we're fine. If he pushes here, I take, and he either takes or he pushes. If he pushes, that's fine. I'll get it with this pawn. Like, what am I worried about? Like, now, like, his queen is being whatever. So it took me a while to finally be like, no. Fuck your queen side. We're going king side. However, I did it wrong. Again, I still had f4, and now f4 makes us dead even because he's not improved his position. I've improved mine slightly. a5. Oh, is okay. That's an okay move, right? It like kind of creates this weird thing going on, but it whatever. I'm not going to work on that side. And h5 still, which I could have done last move, but instead I didn't. Instead of all of this, I continued with my plan. And I went g5. Now, being a true 1200, he was like, this f4 square is pretty dangerous, and these pawns are really coming at me. And so I gave him a chance to play f4, which he did. Which sucked, because now once he plays f4, and I play f4, he can take back with this, or more importantly, with the rook. So I take back because I felt like, what the fuck else am I supposed to do? Apparently, this is better. That's interesting. Now, it still wants me to go h5, which I could have done a while ago, but no, didn't do it. I just take back. He takes with the rook. And I realize that I am fucked. I am very unhappy. This position feels bad. I know it's only 0.3, but it feels so bad. So my thought process is, I'm going to go here, and I'm going to kick this rook. If I go here, he can't check me, right? If he goes over here, he can't go that way. He can't go this way, right? So I'll just go here. So I do, right? Yep. Now, the stupidity of this move is, you know, mind-boggling. But I did it anyway. Yeah. So not only do I now, remember my thought at the beginning was, I am really cramped. I need to uncramp myself. So what have I done? I've created a wall of pieces that keeps my rooks and my queen that all felt very cramped from ever getting the fuck out. Ever, ever, ever. Jesus Christ. Anyway. He goes here. Which is not a great move. So that's good. That's good for me. I guess his thinking was, you know, take, take, take. Wins a pawn. It's like kind of weak. He weakens his squares a bit. Whatever. He had this in mind, which I didn't know at the time. So since I didn't know at the time that he had this in mind, and I probably shouldn't have fucked around, I just continue with my plan. Which at this point is the best plan. Because, you know, what the fuck else am I going to do? I already have my bishop here. At least this comes with tempo. In my mind, I had some hope that he would go like all the way back. I don't know why, but he didn't. For obvious reasons. Obvious reasons. Hold on. Okay. We're back. Sorry about that. So at this point, I didn't know what the fuck to do. So I just was like, we're going to keep pushing with pawns. Now I have space for my queen to come in. And I was like, I don't want to pin my queen. What happens if this? I don't know. Obviously, he's not going to do that. Or like this, and I go like this. I mean, like, there was just... I mean, I wouldn't do... not like that, no. The point was this, right? Threatens the rook, and also threatens this. I win a piece. He can't do this. That's not an option. So instead of just defending again, I just go h5. I'm like, we decided to go with the pawns. We're going with the pawns. At this point, I'm feeling pretty bad, and he's up, you know, 1.0. I could feel the material disadvantage just right there. And I was fully expecting him already to take, right? Fully expecting, because he wins a pawn. It's not guarded. But instead, he just went like super clinical, right? Now he's got, now he got his queen there. Like, he's just in a good place. Now he could push here if he wanted to, I guess. No, he couldn't, because I would fork. But he's just had me kind of stuck. And now it's finally like, please just get your queen into the game somehow. You can guard this so that after all of this stuff, like, you know, if he goes here, like, we don't have to take maybe. Like, we can just be chill. You know, if he does this, we can just take it, right? Like, whatever. And I'm like, I'm going to move my rook away from the defense of this pawn, which will be under threat in a second after he takes. I'm going to go here. So now my queen can't defend anything. Yeah, really brilliant. It was a brilliant move. And he's like, okay, me too. Let's do it. Yeah. So we end up in this position. And I'm like, well, after all of this, I want to make sure I defend my bishop. So with takes, I can at least defend the pawn, which is defending my bishop, so he can't go any further. Since I just removed the defender of this, I'll add the defender. And again, if we remember, I was feeling cramped. And so what did I do? I continued to cramp myself. This is called stress. This is called stress. Anyway, he now decides to go forward with it. Taking back was a mistake. I understand why at this point. Taking back makes a lot of sense. Or it doesn't make a lot of sense. Going here, it does make sense. Sorry, here. Because you have options of like this and, you know, some weird stuff that's going on, getting into this position, etc. once things go on. But I take back, he takes back, right? And I'm like, okay, well, at least I've got this defended, kind of. I did not have it defended. And so I sat there thinking for a minute, and I was like, what if he goes like this? I'm going to be in trouble. And instead of being like, hey, why don't I just go like that to stop like any kind of forced queen trades or any of this nonsense, and also to stop that, I was like, I can just do it with my king. It'll defend this even further. Amazing. Which was just frankly a brilliant idea. Because now he sees pretty clearly that he can just push my bishop away. And that opens a lot of doors because this pawn is no longer guarded. I just push back. At this point, it's like literally the only thing you can do is just sack the piece. Just let it die. At this point, he goes here, and the writing's on the wall. I literally almost sacked my queen because I didn't know what the fuck I was supposed to do. And I did that, which was probably the worst option that I could have made. Because at least this sacrifices an exchange, right? Yeah, no, let's not be stupid. That sacrifices an exchange, but like holds off the end of the game, right? We're down material without a doubt, but the game isn't over, right? Like we have rook and bishop versus rook. We have pretty even pawn counts. We're okay. We're probably gonna lose, but like at my level, it's not like that crazy. But I'm like, no, I don't want to sack any exchange because we're fine. 100% good. We're good. Don't worry. We're good. And I, at this point, was just so stressed I missed this move. So I do this, and he promptly takes there. So it's mate in 11. Because I really need to stop. Like, I really need to stop all of this craziness. And basically I need to just like take, there's nothing I can do. Like I don't really have choices, but I decided to make like the worst move that I can make because I'm like, well, I can still get this queen. Lol. So if he moves, I'll just go here. I'll just go here so that when he moves his knight, like his queen will be pinned behind his knight is what I was thinking. I'll just pin his queen behind his knight. Incredibly stupid to not. This is just stress. This is just stress. I was super stressed. Oh, no. You know what I thought? Oh, my God. I missed a whole line of thinking that I had. Okay. Here was my whole line of thinking that I had missed. Because I missed this move, this is what I was focused on. I didn't want to lose my this, but I was thinking, okay, look. If I go here, this is check. Right? He can't do anything. Boom, check. He takes. So I take. So he takes. And then I can take. Right? And then we're even. And I'm like, holy shit. And then I'm like, hold on a second. What if he's smart? And I go here and he doesn't take. He just moves. I'm like, now there's no threat. Well, fuck. So then I'm like, okay, what if I do it the other way? If I take here, because I didn't see this because I'm stupid, right? I didn't see this because I'm stupid. So my thought is, this was the threat, right? Here is the threat in my mind. If I take here, now if he doesn't take back, I can take this rook, right? So he's probably going to take. Again, I didn't see this big green line. And if he takes, I'm going to check. And at this point, like, he'll probably take. That's what was in my mind. That was the stupid thing in my mind, right? All of this, like, ignores the fact that even if my master plan works out of takes, works out, he takes. And we're not even. We're not even. But hey, I was doing my best, right? Okay. This is stress. So I'm like, okay, this is probably not forcing enough. The check is probably not forcing enough. Instead, I need to do the rook. So I make the incredibly dumb move of rook takes e3. To which he just promptly goes, you're an idiot. Because I just went from mate in 11 to mate in 3. And then I had one move, and then I had one move, and then he had mate. So that was my first foray. Again, it was against Ptolemy Linden, who is 12-11 rated. USCF. Okay. And afterwards, I didn't feel bad, right? I looked at the review, and this is kind of how I felt. This was exactly how I felt. That from the first moment, it was going fine. I felt like I had the game. I wasn't making great decisions, but I still had the game under control. Even up to this point, I felt okay. And here I started to feel cramped. And this is the moment where I started to feel really cramped and not knowing what to do. And in this moment where I felt cramped and not knowing what to do, I was still even. But I started making bad decisions because I was stressed and cramped. And with each bad decision, you can see we just start getting into worse and worse positions, and I keep making worse and worse decisions until I lose. And this really was how the game felt. It was this like, okay, this isn't so bad. It's not so bad. We're doing okay. We're holding in there. And then all of a sudden it was like, I'm super fucking cramped, and I don't know what to do about it. So, what I was proud of was a lot, and this is another recurring theme with my time here, my time playing these tournaments. After all of this, my instinct was to go here. I was thinking I should go here, which is the best move. After I did this, I thought about going here. I was like, I really should maybe go here. But I saw ghosts. The other option that I saw was to go here. These are both good moves. I did that instead. When he did this, I took, and then I thought I should go here. Because I just wanted to uncramp myself, right? If I could go here, I could go here, right? I could get myself uncramped, unburdened from the queen side. I don't have to care about it. This guy's not really a threat because this is here. I can always go here, right? This was in my mind, and I just didn't. So ultimately, I guess what I'm proud of is that I made a lot of bad moves, especially when it got really tense. Here I almost sacked the queen. All right, I almost sacked the bishop here. But I didn't have a follow-up because I had pushed all these pawns. So what I am happy with is I had the right instincts. And this is something, again, that I experienced throughout the whole tournament. I had good instincts, but I kept seeing ghosts. So this is something that I'm learning. This is a huge learning process for me. It was really interesting. It was really fun. Yeah. So that's game one. All right. So let's get into game two. This game, by the way, round one took like almost the whole time. We each had about 15 minutes left. It was G90 with a 30-second increment, right? So it was a long game. It took like almost 3 hours we were playing this game. I was exhausted. I had no idea how tired I was going to be, but I did it anyway. I didn't care. But I was a little frustrated because I didn't follow my instincts, but I did it anyway. What's up, Enzo? Hey, man, I'm going over my games right now. Thanks, though. I will play a game in a little bit. I want to go over these games and review them. This is for my tournament over the weekend.